So we're creeping up on the draft now, Brock. What are we, 9 days away from the NFL draft? And I let my secret out a little bit earlier. I secretly kind of want them to take a edge rusher like Jared Verse. Publicly, I want them to take a lineman, whether it's a Troy Faltano type or maybe even a defensive lineman like a Byron Murphy. Publicly, that's my stance. But secretly, I'd be pretty psyched if it was Jared Verse. So, Brock, we continue on with our draft profiles. What do we have for us today?
The Seattle Seahawks select.
This is Brock Huard's draft profile.
You want traits? Check. You want a vocal leader? Check.
At the end of the day, you have to say, okay, what's best for the organization?
Can you make people around you better, and can you bring people together?
Every day at 9 a.m. leading up to the draft.
Once again, that last little line there of John Schneider, that's with, right, Bob and Dave, and he talks to him every single Thursday. Do you make people around you better? Just that's one that just sticks with me, Sulk. And the longer, quite honestly, I'm on the road and around college football and around these spring league pro players and just look at so many of them, and where is just a line of distinction? That is such a big one. Do you make the people around you better? And I think of the 20 guys that I profile, that one, that's a box that I have to check. I have to check it. Otherwise, I'm not going to profile you, and I don't really see you as a Seattle Seahawk just through my lenses. And the guy today, oh my gosh, does he make people around him better? That would be Mike Sainristil, the corner, nickel, safety, receiver from the University of Michigan. Do you make people around you better? I don't know. You're just on the best defense in college football. I don't know. You're the two-time captain from that team. I don't know. You went 15-0, and it really didn't matter who you matched up against, even Michael Penix and all of his weaponry with NFL receiver, NFL receiver, NFL receiver. And you just, made life miserable for Mr. Penix like nobody else did, really, in his 2 years. Save for ASU in a game that they won. I would say ASU and Michigan were the two that just really were tough tape for Mike, and because he couldn't solve their riddle. And he couldn't solve it because Mikey was right in the middle of it. He is not a stubby little chump. Not this Mike from Massachusetts. Not from Everett, Mass. Fled Haiti, Salk, in 2000 as a young child. You like this. Do you know that his dad was actually a radio station news director in Haiti? And after the revolution, had to get the heck out of Dodge, and they ended up in Everett, Mass. And as you tell me, that's not the easiest town in America. And it's not known necessarily for big-time football. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year coming out of Massachusetts. Many of those Northeastern, Connecticut, as I look at New Jersey, Massachusetts, the state players of the year, the Gatorade, usually end up for some reason at Michigan or Penn State. Those are kind of the two up there in the Northeast, and he ended up in Ann Arbor. And as a very true freshman, came right in and started games at wide receiver. And they started more games at wide receiver in 20 and more games in 21. In fact, most of the games at wide receiver. And he was a good receiver, but he was not elite. And the team needed difference makers. And as they changed their defensive system, they went to him, and it would have been very easy for him to say, I ain't playing defense. I'm not doing that. And instead said, I got an opportunity in a new scheme to show off what I'm capable of. Yeah, let me jump over there. And at 5'9", 182 pounds, jumps out of the gym, 40-inch vertical, 10'11" broad jump, 4.01 short shuttle. Unbelievably athletic. A 4.47 40 with a 1.5 110. Quick as all get out. And their coach, who's now the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, I was looking at my Michigan boards like, this dude is going to be an elite. Not a good. He is going to be an elite nickelback in the NFL. Elite. And we saw that all through the course of this 15-0 season. 6 interceptions, third in the country. 2 of those 6 he took back to the house. When you've got wide receiver skills, trying to think of a former corner in Seattle that ended up being a receiver for 4 years of his career before flipping over and playing 1 year at corner at Stanford on the farm. Yeah, that guy turned out to be a pretty good DB at the NFL level because they have innate ball skills. They understand the system. They understand what it's like being on the other side and being a receiver. And this is not a guy that turned into a DB Salt because he couldn't catch like a lot of DBs when they're in junior high and high school. Not maybe great ball skills, not maybe great hands. This guy was a starter, a 3-year wide receiver starter who flipped over on the other side, has got a nose for the ball, got an instinct to the game that's unique, has a love for playing football, elevates the people around him, loves playing the game, 2-time captain for a national champion Michigan team. This guy's going to be a good one at the NFL level at a position, as you said earlier in the show, that is not of a whole lot of need here in
All right,
Seattle.
so first of all, thank you. I love Mikey Sainristil. I think he's a really fun player. He jumped off the screen during that during the national championship
and the Rose Bowl,
championship
and the Rose Bowl,
with
and the
his
Big Ten
hitting,
championship.
Right,
and
he's a hitter. He's a ball hawker. You're right. He's one of those guys. Where's he getting picked though?
That's a good question. Second, third round, not a shutdown elite corner, right? So not one of these guys going to be one of the top 2, 3, 5 corners off the board. So where does a top nickelback go?
5th overall.
No, that guy was the number 1 corner in the draft.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He played. I mean, if you want to do that,
nickel?
if you want to, you say it's not a position of need. If you want to put Devin Witherspoon out there as a shutdown corner and lockdown corner and be interchangeable and positionless, and you a lockdown difference-making
if you
nickel.
spent the 5th overall pick on somebody, I would think if you tell me shutdown corner is more valuable than nickel, then I guess I'd want him to play there.
Oh yeah. But it's most valuable to do everything on a football field at an extremely high level, which is what Devin Witherspoon can do, which this guy cannot do, which is why he's not going to be a first-round pick. Is he a late second-round pick? Is he sit on the board in the early third round?
You don't have one of those. Or one.
You could trade down.
If they trade down to take a cornerback, Brock, I'm walking out. I got to tell you. Like, I really like Mikey Sainristil. I think he's going to be a really good player in the NFL. But if they trade down to get a cornerback, I'm out. I'm just out.
I feel like this year has more of those than ever. If they take a running back, if they take a tight end, if they take a nickel, if they take a corner, if they take a receiver,
like I'm out.
You're just gonna walk out.
I'm out. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Brock, that was the question I asked earlier. We've heard John say that such and such does not preclude us from somebody. Who does preclude you from positions or position groups?
If they take a running back, there should be a riot here in Seattle.
Safeties.